In February, 15,993 initial unemployment claims were filed in Nevada compared to 17,336 in February 2012. That's a 7.8% decrease over the year, the 36th time in the past 39 months that claims have been lower than the year before, and only the second time since prior to the recession that the level of claims was below 16,000. Initial claims peaked during the recession at 36,414 in December of 2008, and since then, the low point for initial claims was 13,932 in September of 2012. Republicans who want to close a campaign finance loophole that allows some former elected officials to hold on to campaign cash presented their bill today. AB 178 requires anyone who qualifies as a candidate to dispose of unused campaign funds within 2 years if they don't actually file as a contender or appear on the ballot. Advocacy groups for cancer patients are backing Nevada legislation to give parity to patients on oral medication. SB 266 seeks to make Nevada the 23rd state with what supporters call an oral oncology parity law. The measure would require insurers to provide coverage for oral drugs that is equivalent to conventional intravenous drugs used in chemotherapy. The American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network says patients shouldn't have to pay more for treatment because they're prescribed oral medication instead of intravenous drugs. Unlike intravenous drugs, oral medication is considered a pharmacy benefit with no annual out-of-pocket limit, and patients on oral drugs end up paying much more. If Nevada expects to maintain roads and highways as the state population grows, tax on fuel must be increased by 2.8 times to keep up with the demand, according to a report released this week by the UNLV Center for Business and Economic Research. In 2012, the Nevada State Highway Fund ran a deficit of $136 million. They project that a deficit will increase to $220 million by 2020 and $284 million by 2025, and then $377 million by 2030 if nothing is done to increase revenue. Nevada taxes its motor fuel sales on per gallon basis, which means that tax revenues have not kept up and will not keep up pace with inflation. To fix the deficit, the state would need to increase its current tax on motor fuels by 17.65 cents per gallon at an average rate of 6.8% each year over the next 17 years. If fuel taxes are not increased, the state must consider alternative options, such as checking odometers at the end of every year to charge mileage fees, or vehicle registration fees could be increased to meet the funding demand for the new roads. In 2011, Nevada had a population of 2.7 million people, and the annual vehicle miles traveled in the state totaled 22.4 billion. The population will grow 1.08% annually and will reach 3 million by 2020 and 3.3 million by 2030, according to the Nevada State Demographer. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. That's your News Across Nevada.